Hello everyone. Today I'm back with another version of Bhagavad Gita in my collection. I hope you're liking this series. Um, this one is from Swami Chinmayananda, and this one is very special to me because this I have the entire set. This Gita is broken down by chapters. The first and second chapters are in a single book, as you see, but the rest of the chapters are broken down as individual chapters. I like this for a good reason. Recently I have had to travel, and I was in the fourth and fifth chapter while in my studies during that time, but I usually refer to Swami Ranganathananda's version, and then my study at that time was also referring to Swami Gambirananda's Shankara's version of Bhagavad Gita, which is huge. And the choices were I should either carry that or Swami Ranganathananda's. Both were huge, both were bulky. I was on move a lot, and it was an emergency situation, but I do touch my Gita every day, and it had to be carried in my handbag. It made it very bulky, and so I couldn't carry it. Then came the solution. See, in my collection I had this. So fourth and fifth were my chapters that I was going through at that time, so I could just carry this and continue my studies right there. So this is very thin, as you see. Only the first and second chapter are a bit thick, but still it looks thick. I don't know how they make this. This is very light. About Swami Chinmayananda's commentary as such, brilliant commentary. For those who have read his Art of Living and Bhagavad Gita for beginners or something, I don't know the title, but his books are amazing. His teachings are very practical. If you can check his videos, there are his personal teaching videos. He breaks everything down as BMI, body, mind, and intellect, and he's famous for doing those acronyms. He breaks it down into very simple terms, and there is a board on which he writes down everything. It's just like crazy clear, and he has a funny way of bringing anecdotes from his own life while teaching in his lectures. But this commentary as such is not like Swami Ranganathananda drawing from personal experiences. This is just Sanskrit verse, English version of the Sanskrit verse, word by word meaning of the verse, and then the purport. The purports are usually very short. They're not very long unless they have to. For example, this is the fourth, but in second chapter you'll have the Nasato Vidyate Bhava, the 16th verse, which by nature has to be long, and they have to explain that way. So unless there's no something like that, there is the purports are usually just a page. And if you look at this, for example, I'm again coming to his way of teaching. He puts diagrams, he breaks things down, and he explains terms that we may not know. For those who don't know Sanskrit, this is actually a very good book. And if you're only entering into this, you can very well just try one chapter, chapter 5 or chapter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be 1, 2, and in the series, because every chapter is a yoga. For example, if you are into bhakti yoga, if you're curious about bhakti yoga, you could just choose from one chapter of that and start studying and see how it goes for you. This way you're not buying the entire series, but at the same time you have mastered one particular chapter, and then it's easily carryable. This does not have any artwork. This does not have long introductions. There is an introduction, maybe in the first chapter you have the entire Mahabharats and the context in which Gita was given. but the rest of the chapters are just to the point, and I really like that. You see, the situation and the time that you choose to study varies. Some days I have a lot of time, some days, I mean, that those days are very few, but some days I have a lot of time and privacy to sit quietly and go through and appreciate and soak in the nectar of Gita. And those are the times when I look into the artwork and appreciate the beauty of the Lord, and the every artwork speaks to us in a different way, so you're able to appreciate all that. But most of the times we are in and we are out. It's just the mananam part. I take hold of one verse, take its meaning, make notes, make some marks, and say, okay, this is what I need to assimilate today. So every like few minutes I can think of it. Once I've taken this down, I think of it. I make post-it notes like this. I take it everywhere. It's on the fridge, it's on the study table, sometimes it's even on the shower door. Sometimes you just look at it and you're like, oh, okay. And that's how mananam is done, because you want to bring those concepts into your mind so many times. So for that, this is a beautiful thing. You're waiting in a doctor's office, or you're waiting for something, you have a few minutes, you can flip through this, and this is easily carryable. One of my most favorite versions. If you can catch hold of the entire series, good for you, please do that. But if you're only getting into it and you want to know what this is all about, choose a chapter. I mean, it's advisable to do chapter 1 and 2. 2, especially 2, is where people begin. But if you are wanting to test the waters out, you could as well choose any chapter. If I remember well, what I first had was 6 and 11 and 12. Not because I was choosing to, someone gave those to me, those booklets. Then I thought, after reading through that, I thought I would actually want to have the entire series, and I bought the whole set, which again came with 6, 11 and 12. I have 2 copies of those. Looking to give them away if someone's really wanting them. So the series has done me, it's really serving me. So if you want the entire series, that's good too. See if you can get hold of this, and if you like this, I have other videos that I'm going to come up with several versions. And there's also a prelude. I'm going to do Master the Sankhya Challenge. If you're with me, please join me in this study challenge, where I take second chapter, most important slokas. I'm going to post a list of those slokas, those verses, and we will concentrate on those verses. The study pattern is, you take the verse, you have to memorize the verse, and you also get to know its meaning. Do a complete full study by listening to some lecture on that verse, any lecture, any language. You make notes, and then by the end of the challenge, you have memorized those verses from second chapter. You are at least able to loosely translate or loosely tell the meaning. It doesn't have to be the reason why you do that in-depth chapter, listening to something or reading to a version, is because you need to remember what it means. So the gist of what that verse is will be remembered only when you get deep into it and read an entire full purport, or listen to an entire lecture. Shravanam and Mananam, that's what we are doing. Shravanam and Mananam will do, but memorizing of the verse is important. If you are unable to memorize the verse because Sanskrit is a problem to you, that's fine. At least just know the meaning. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post a Master the Sankhya challenge. I'm going to begin it. Those of you who want to join the study can join the study. The plan is to study each verse, memorize the verse, and in between I'll check in and just go through some of the verses and what I did to do the challenge. For example, let's take Karpanya Dosho Upahata. If I did that verse and if I completed memorizing, completed studying, I'll show you the resources that I went to study the verse. After I finish studying, that's how the study pattern is going to be. So that's my next project, but I have many versions that I want to post. I'll come back with more videos, and I hope you like this series. Goodbye for now.